Welcome back to another episode or another live stream of Didi Got a Podcast. I'm your host, Didi. I appreciate you all for being here as always. I apologize for the tardiness, but this does give me sort of a reason to announce what I meant to announce in my video yesterday. I'm actually preparing to have my wisdom tooth pulled tomorrow. So there's a lot of moving parts in my life right now. So with that, I'm going to be off air. I want to announce that for everybody. I'm going to be off air for probably the next week or so, as I'm healing from that surgery. So there's that. I also want to just state that I've made a ton of videos covering the Charlie Kirk case, and there's a lot of people with a lot of different theories. And what I wanted to do today, as we know that the trial is taking place and there's different revelations that's even coming out today because they're showing footage of the interview with Lance Twiggs, and there's a lot of information there. But I don't want to digress too much. In today's live, we're going to be learning together because there's been this one individual specifically on X. I've seen this person commenting under many different people's tweets, and that's mine's included. And they have alleged to have conducted a considerable amount of research. And I've done a little bit of looking into it and reading into it. And it seems like this person really has good reason to believe that Charlie Kirk was taken out by not one shot, but two shots. And you all who follow the channel know that my current theory is that I am still torn on if Charlie Kirk is alive or not. I'm mostly sold on the possibility of Charlie Kirk being alive. And I know that most of you all do not believe that, right? And so with that, I'm going to bring this person on, and I'm going to meet him for the first time, and we're going to see what evidence or what research he's conducted to sort of come to this conclusion. I want to state, though, before I bring him on, I wouldn't just bring anybody on based on what I've seen, the little bit that I have seen. I do believe that this is a person who is, at the very least, worth being heard out. So with that, I'm going to bring him onto the platform, and we're going to have a discussion.
Hey,
How's it going, man?
all right, Didi. That was a great introduction right there. I like that. That's good work right there.
Absolutely. So what do you go by? So you call yourself, let me put the banners up. I know you call yourself We Are Not Going to Mars, but do
Yeah.
you want to be called Mars?
N-
What
You
what
can
would you like
call
to be
me.
called?
You can call me whatever you want, man. Some people like the people on X and other platforms. They call me Mars, and I run with it, right? But my name is Ty Norman. I put We Are Not Going to Mars because I'm not promoting me per se, right?
Or
I'm promoting that brand. We Are Not Going to Mars because that's where all of my Charlie Kirk stuff is. So, but I'm Ty. You can just call me Ty if you like. That's perfectly fine.
okay, sounds good. All right, Todd. Well, I'm Didi, man. It's a pleasure to have
Good
you
to meet
here.
you.
Um, yeah, so let's work our way backwards because my audience they're very passionate, as you're gonna see, and they're interested to see what you found and why your theory isn't just some random theory like everybody else has. I'm not saying everybody's theory is random, but why should you be why should your theory be viewed as credible? What is it that you believe happened that day? Let's start with there. Just make that definitive statement if you don't mind, and then we'll work our way backwards with the evidence.
Okay, that sounds good. Charlie Kirk was assassinated by two shots that day. And there are a lot of theories out there, as you in your opening said. Some people believe he's alive. Some people believe he was electrocuted. Some blown up by the road wireless microphone. There's plenty of theories. Um, I don't want to disparage anybody, so I'm not going to like say names or any of that kind of stuff during this interview.
Okay.
But I'll just say this: I've seen all of the theories. I've studied all of them, every single one of them, and I in investigations, I believe there's a process of elimination, right?
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you come to a conclusion around a certain set of facts. So what I was able to do early on was to eliminate a lot of things that just didn't make sense, right? And the way you do that is basically you take the evidence that you do have and you throw out the things that don't make sense. Now, it's not fail safe. You're not always, fail proof. You're not always going to get it right. So in the beginning, and let you guys and girls out there know, if you got it wrong, it's okay. I got it wrong in the beginning too. In parts 1 through 3 of my 5-part series, it soon to be 6 parts. But in parts 1 through 3 of the series, if you go watch that video, the first 1 through 3 are in one video. If you watch that, I got it wrong. I got it wrong at the end of that video. Nobody really talks about that when they watch my series, but at the end of the third part, I said that the person who was actually up on the running across the thing above
Is it the
Charlie Kirk,
Losey Center or the other roof?
the other roof, where
I
the
think it's
BA.
Wolf. Actually, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna actually take that moment um to I'm going to play something for you. I wanted to play this at the very beginning so you can see it, and I wanted to get your thoughts. But before I do that, I want to remind everybody, please hit the like button on your way in. That is the biggest way to help promote this video and to push it into the algorithm. And Ty, if you do not mind, man, please tell people where they can find you. Where can they find
Yeah,
these series, these parts, and what is the
yeah.
basis of these theories?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find my series on YouTube. That's the best place to find it right now. You can also find it on my site, plannedbyty.com. That's planned by Ty, TAI.com. That's a website that I have built for a brand that I'm also building called PenPub. Um, Trying to go up against Jeff Bezos and create something for the book community. So you can find all of my stuff there. And it's just a whole detail laid out series. They already banned me off of TikTok and back in September, so that forced me to X and into platforms like YouTube. And since then, I found people like yourself, Project Constitution, and kind of everybody else. Uh, Before I was just on TikTok in the weeds by myself. I didn't know there was even a whole community of people doing this.
Not that you need one, but do you have a background in anything related to research, law, ballistics, anything of that sort? Just curious.
Uh, I wouldn't say law research. Yes, I've been in the investigative journalism community for, I don't know, probably close to 20 years now. And I'm in my mid 40s, just in case, the gray beard didn't give it away. But I've been in this space for a long time. I go back to, doing cases like Lavoy Finicum, a couple people from Black Lives Matter. I don't do a political thing. I just do justice, right? Depending on who's being wronged.
Mhm.
That's what I believe in. I've worked with a lot of mothers. I've done a lot in this space. A lot of investigative journalism, and I used to host a show before and all kinds of stuff. So there's a deep history there.
All right, perfect.
And, oh yeah, and I'm prior military, by the way, too. I am prior military. I was an information systems analyst for General Abrams. And,
Wait, so repeat that. You're part. You have a history in the military, and what else?
yeah, prior military, I was an information systems analyst, a
Okay.
74 Bravo, and that used to be a part of the Signal Corps in the Army. And Basically, I worked for General Abrams for a while. I don't know if you've heard of the Abrams A1 tank, but that's the tank that the Army uses.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
his grandson is who I actually worked for when he was at Fort Monroe. That's where I was stationed at Fort Monroe at TRADOC, Training and Doctrine Command, which was a headquarters basically for a lot of the other installations. I've interfaced with Fort Huachuca. I've worked on top secret programs. I worked on the UAV program that they're trying to implement domestically now. And I don't want to get too far in the weeds. So you let me know if I'm going too far, too fast.
Okay.
But this is some of my experience, though.
Got it. Thank you for your service. Someone in
Thank you.
the comment section is asking, what's the name of your YouTube channel? Is it the same name, We Are Not Going to Mars?
Yeah, it's We Are Not Going to Mars. Let me check. I think it's all one.
Word.
Yeah, I think it is. Let me check. Yeah, if you type it in, the little at symbol says We Are Not Going to Mars. So it's all one. If you type it in as that, it should show up. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So with that, Someone says they're probably just joining. They said, what is your theory? We don't care about your work. Well, you may want to rewind because he's already repeated that. He's already stated that at the very beginning. But we're going to get into that, right? The purpose of us being on live stream isn't to ramble. We're going to get into the nitty gritty of it. Let me first start off by showing everybody, including Ty, this video that I actually watched not even 20 minutes ago. We're going to watch maybe the first 2 or 3 minutes of this, and I'm curious you all's thoughts. And I'll link it below. This is on the Hustle channel. Oh, I forgot I muted it. Okay, here we go.
See this. I posted that video just 8 days after Charlie Kirk's assassination. Someone was on the rooftop of the Woodbury building minutes before the shooting, but somehow that building was never treated like a crime scene. Now, listen to this.
Wasn't there also a bullet found on another building?
I believe an unfired bullet had been found on another building at some point during my time there on September 10th. Yes.
Which building was that, sir?
I don't recall.
Was that considered a scene that was worth preserving?
It was not. My recollection is that was accounted for as an ejected cartridge from an officer who had cycled his rifle.
Okay, I thought you said it was an unfired bullet. So now you're saying it was a cartridge?
When a weapon is cleared, an officer would make his rifle ready, which would chamber around.
Oh, I got you.
My understanding was that's how that was accounted for.
So an officer claimed that bullet belonged to him or her?
That's my recollection, is that was how it was accounted for.
And when was that accounted for?
I don't know specifically.
Do you remember what type of bullet that was?
I don't.
Was it a 30-06? Do you remember?
I don't.
Okay. Do you know where that bullet is now?
I don't.
Okay.
They found a bullet on another rooftop. Didn't bag it. No, didn't secure the scene. Of course not. And then lost this crucial evidence during one of the most high-profile investigations in years. Do you think that's even possible? And it only gets worse. Remember this guy? He showed up at UVU in a lab coat with a gun, but he didn't go to the Low-C building. No, instead, he ran to the Woodbury building. But for some reason, all charges against him were dropped. Like it never even happened. And of course, here's where things get even stranger. Tyler Robinson wasn't even alone.
Yes.
And do you remember that the Nobles told you that the driver of the vehicle was bald?
I do remember that being in the report, yes.
And you didn't mention that today when you were talking about that Ring camera, did you?
I did not.
And did they also tell you there were 3 other people in the car?
Yes, I believe they thought that was the case.
Okay.
This, of course, isn't shocking. Even the first witness described someone completely different.
We met an electrician working near the university who says someone matching that description approached a co-worker at this job site.
He had black sunglasses. He had a black COVID mask. He had a black trench coat, black cargo pants, and he was wearing a small backpack, and he also had long, greasy black hair. The guy said, someone's been shot.
Looking back on it, did that person think that was the shooter now?
The guy was already trying to leave. And so we were then shown a picture by the sheriff at the time, and the excavator said that it matched.
And then there's the video of someone who looked a lot like Lance Twiggs. The same guy with immunity, the same guy whose DNA was found all over the evidence.
So once again, I will link in the description to Hustle's video so that you all can go and check that out and give him some credit for that. Before Ty speaks, I just want to say that the reason why I wanted to play this specifically for Ty and the rest of you is because part of what sold me to bring Ty onto the channel was an image that he sent me. Outside of me just skimming through some of his work, this image that you sent me, I found to be extremely intriguing. And I said, okay, now I want to hear what you're thinking. You believe that there were 3 patsies, 2 shooters, 2 distractions. Give me your thoughts first and foremost on the video and connected to the image if there is a connection.
Yeah. Man, what a great video, right? So the video is really telltale of this is an operation. And this is what I've been saying the entire time, that this is an operation. Come on. What college event, opening college event do you know of that Charlie Kirk has attended where so many guns have been?
Right.
How many guns are on this campus? It's more guns than cops. There's only 6 cops, 12 security. What are we doing? How do we get this many guns on camp? Well, we don't have any protectors, any, metallic, to check these students. So everybody has a gun. It's ridiculous. So what it tells me is we're looking at an operation, and exactly why I call it Operation 322. The 322, it's meant to signify the patsies and the shooters and stuff like that, but it's not the limitation of what's there, right? There's a lot of things that the number 322 does not account for. So let's be very clear about that. Let's bring back up the image on the screen. I'm going to actually walk you through it.
Sure.
And that way it'll be a little bit easier. So the yellow, matter of fact, let's start here. On the video that you just showed me, and that's where I started my investigative research. And going back to what I said in the beginning, on the first 1 through 3, I got it wrong. I assumed that that walkway right behind Charlie, where I saw a gentleman running across right after the shot, I inappropriately misidentified him as the BA sniper, and I was the first person to put out this terminology, BA sniper.
What does that mean?
BA sniper is the BA location building there with the red dot on it.
Okay.
And that was the location that I was saying that the gentleman who ran across the walkway took the shot from the BA, the corner of this BA building. There's a little hole right there in the top of the roof when you see it on Google Maps, so that he can have easily got up there and scaled and kind of took a shot and jumped back down and ran across. And from the timing that I had for a relatively athletic guy, the timing would have worked out, right?
Yeah.
The only problem was that the angle didn't quite work out because it wasn't high enough. Yep. It would have needed a little bit more height to kind of clear that downward angle. So I retracted that in parts 1 through 3, and I immediately said in part 4, I came out and said, hey, there's a correction. It's still 2 shots, but the BA sniper was not a man. The BA sniper was actually a drone. I went through, scrubbed through all the footage again, and that's when I was able to see, a drone leaving that location where the BA building where it would have been. The person who took the video was near that WB building, which is kind of where the person was seen on the roof right there.
Okay. Yeah.
That person was right there who took that video. They kind of were taking a video of Charlie Kirk, and then when the shot went off, they turned like this really quick, and they were able to capture the drone in the sky going away. So that's in my series as well too. So basically, I had an interview with an engineer by the name of Gideon back in, I want to say October, November. Gideon and Project Constitution. He did a 3D analysis or 3D replication of this the entire UVU in the area where Charlie was sitting under the tent, how high the tent was raised, all of that good stuff. Because the tent was raised up. That day the tent was raised. They had bags and they had it sitting up a little higher. So he did an analysis of all of this and came out with the proper angle and all that kind of stuff, engineer stuff. And that was a good video. So, and that's on my X account, and that's also included in my work too. So it let me know that one, the angle was correct. Two, the infrared beam that was seen shining on Frank Turek's cell phone. Frank Turek was, standing
Right.
so
Right.
across the corner, there was other things seen on his screen as well too.
Do
He
you
was,
have images of this that you can
yeah,
show in this in
yeah,
real time?
yeah. I got images of all of this.
Perfect.
If you go to my am I able to screen share?
Yes, I think on your end it should give you the option to share something, and then I just give you I put it on the screen
Share
for you.
screen. Share screen. Easiest for 2 monitors.
Because I've seen people share different videos and things on X of something reflecting off of Frank Turek's phone, but Frank Turek has addressed this and said that there was no reflections of anything, no infrared lights. Of
Yeah.
anything, he was on a video call. And I've said many times, it makes no sense. And let me just state this while you're getting ready to share your screen. Frank Turek video calling his 35-year-old son at a Charlie Kirk event. I can't wrap my head around why. Why would
Yeah.
you be video calling in that moment? I'm sure he's seen Charlie Kirk before. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's seen a Charlie Kirk clip before, an event before, especially if your father works alongside of him and Charlie Kirk is supposedly like a son to Frank Turek.
Mhm.
Why would you be video calling in that moment? I can't wrap my head around it. It's never made any sense to me.
It's never made any sense to me too, just to be honest with you. Hold on. I think that I should
I
be
see.
good to go.
Yeah, I see it down there, but I'm see before I put it on the screen, I only see me and you. So I don't know if okay.
Yeah, there we
Just
go.
let me know when you're ready.
Okay, let
To
me
put it up
move
there.
that down there. And let's put our you go ahead and bring it up. I'm just going to go through my actual work that is actually on my profile so that anybody can actually go look at it after I get done doing it. And just let me know when it's on the screen.
All righty. It gives me the options. Okay, there we go. I think there it is. It's on the screen.
Okay. All right. So I'll talk you through it from this point forward here. So if you go to my profile here on X and you go to articles right here, this article is right here. This is accessible for everyone to see. So it's, I could take you into my work right here and show you all of my assets, and we could go through each one of these and, kind of talk about these. But instead of me actually doing that and showing you all of this stuff, I'm going to actually show you the work that's actually right here so that you can jump in here and actually do the same thing yourself, right?
Okay.
So 10 minutes, the second video down in this article, the first video right here is about 30 minutes long. This video is a complete summary, an AI summary of my entire 8-hour series. My 8-hour series is connected at the bottom of this article, right?
8 hours is crazy, bro.
It's crazy work, but I did it over the course of months though, right? So I did parts 1 through 3 first. And then after, there's the link for it right there at the bottom. Okay.
Yep.
After I did parts 1 through 3, I had to make that correction, right? I couldn't leave that out there. And I debated, I'll show you that over here real quick for the people who were asking. Let me just show you real quick for the folks that were asking and want to actually see. Let me go to my channel. There we go. All right. This is my channel right here. That's We Are Not Going to Mars. And the playlist is actually right here, right?
Okay.
So you go to one of these playlists right here. There's another playlist right there, and it has all of my videos that are right there, okay? So I had to do this again. I did the video right here. It came out great, but I was wrong about the gentleman in the middle of the screen of that video right there. He was not the shooter. So then I had to do a part 4. Part 4 ended up being very long because I included the esoteric connections of the Epstein clan and their connections to Provo and all that kind of stuff. So that's part 4 right there. Then I did an AI review of parts 1 through 4. That came out fantastic. A lot that was very well received. And then after that, I did a part 5. Part 5 went directly into Provo. It talked about Starlink's connection to the Egyptian plains, and a lot more, right? And that kind of leads us to where we are today. Now I'm talking to you, and just before this show, I put out this. This is the new, this is the infrared beam that I was able to catch the reflection of on the back of Charlie Kirk's head, right? So this kind of solidify and closes out my entire argument about the 2-shot theory, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Let's go back. So if we go back to the article and we go down to the second video right here, this second video is a 10-minute frame by frame analysis to show you exactly what happened to Charlie Kirk's body and how these shots impacted his body. Okay, this 10-minute breakdown, it gives you everything that gives you everything that you need to know. There you go. In regards to how the infrared beam worked, but I'm going to walk you through this since this is what we're talking about first.
Okay.
So the infrared beam.
If this is something I hate to interrupt, but if this is something that people need to see, yeah, make it large like that. Yet.
Yep.
Perfect.
So the infrared beam, as it's on the back of Charlie's head, it does not drop down when the drone goes up to fly away after shooting Charlie. It drops its beam down, but when it drops its beam down and it's flying away, it's not before it clips the corner of his cell phone, and I'm going to show you that right now.
I did see something.
Yeah. So this is what, and again, we can go over this several times. It's just that easy to see.
Now, see, look, I'm extremely green. What I want you to do, if you don't mind, is when this reflection of this light is on the phone, can you pause it at that exact moment for us?
Absolutely.
And I also want to say, okay, perfect. Now, I don't have military background. I don't have ballistics background. I don't have experience with drones. What makes you so, for people like me who are new to this, why are you so convinced that this is an infrared light?
Because it follows, right? So, one, from working in that area, I am experienced in this area. So one, I know from the reflection of how infrared works, the spectrum is not going to be caught through through any available cell phone without actually putting a filter over the lens. Then maybe you could do something. But other than that, you're not going to see infrared light. You can't see that wave. The eye is not going to be able to see it. But what we do notice with infrared is whenever infrared comes in contact with something, especially black, that it creates a reflection. And you are able to see not the infrared, but you are able to see the reflection of light that comes from the infrared. So when we're saying infrared beam, it would probably be wise to be more clear to say the infrared beam reflection.
Okay.
That way people can get an understanding like, oh, okay, no, I don't actually see a laser beam on Charlie. I'm just seeing the tip of the invisible laser basically that I can't see. So this laser, this invisible laser basically is on the back of Charlie's head. Once it takes the shot and it enters Charlie's head, this thing is fast. It drops. Once it drops across his cell phone. And that was the telltale sign to me that this shot definitely came from the right. And you'll see other stuff on his phone. People have done, man, there's this one video. I can't remember who did it.
That timing is crazy.
Yeah, the timing is wild. Boom. So now here's the thing. Let's go a little bit further on in the video.
Nothing graphic is going to be shown, correct?
Yeah, no, nothing graphic. All of my stuff, and again, this is on YouTube as well too. Is this one on YouTube? The 10-minute? No, I'm sorry. The 10-minute is not on YouTube, but I don't show anything graphic in any of my stuff. because I know people are going to share it to YouTube and other places, and I don't want them to get taken down either, right? So I try to make sure everything is cut so it's pixelated enough so I can get by all those algorithms. So here we have two situations going on through this time where Charlie was being shot. We had a drone going through the tunnel, a little small miniature drone. And that is not the drones that I'm referring to when I say that Charlie Kirk was shot. I'm not talking about the little drones that were all over the place. I saw those. We've seen them. I'm not talking about those. But then we also had the bullet come in from this location too, where the infrared beam just was at. So this is what I kind of laid out in my entire series so that people could see, no, there was an event that happened to the back of his head, an event that happened directly to the back of his head that caused him to, and it came out of his neck. And then I showed people, this is the area where he got shot from. He got shot from, this is the BA building that I was telling you about. When I said the BA sniper could have got up here and shot, do you see my mouse right there? This is where the BA sniper could have been, right on the other side of here.
So wait, where is Charlie at in conjunction to this? Right. So where is he sitting at? Right there.
Right here. Yeah, he's sitting right here, right there underneath this tent. Yeah. And what you see right here, this little gray area right here, matter of fact, I could probably, oh, I'm in full screen. This little gray area right here underneath the tent. Or this little box. Remember that little trap door that was sitting to the left of him?
Yeah.
That's that right there. The little trap door that's on the ground that goes underground under here. So you got a clear visual. You can clearly see Charlie from here. It's not a problem. People wondered about the tent, and that's why I said early the tent was raised up. So since the tent was actually raised up like that, they were able to do, they were able to do whatever they wanted from this angle. They could clearly see him from this angle. Now, if the tent wasn't raised, that would have been a different story. I don't think this shot would have been as possible then. But the tent was raised that day, and the tent had to be raised for a reason. And I believe that this was exactly the reason why the tent was raised. As I told you, there was a person who was standing up near that WB building. So when the phone turned, this is what they were able to capture. This would have been a high moving drone. This is right here, the BA location. This would have been a high moving drone moving diagonally from that location, backwards from that location and getting the hell out of there. And this was probably 4 seconds after the shot. I want to say maybe 5 seconds after the shot tops. So that's enough time for one of these high powered, very fast drones that can travel a couple hundred miles an hour to go zoop and to almost be gone. So to catch just this footage alone is a blessing, right? And what we start to realize is we're putting together scientifically coherent information at this point, right? So now we have a shot that comes from the back with a laser and a bullet, okay, an infrared beam and a bullet, and hits Charlie right here in the head, all right? And now I'm going to show you.
Wait, you're claiming he got hit in the head?
Oh, yeah, in the head.
Should we, but hold on, I'm going to have to challenge you here.
Yeah.
So in your series, I'm curious, we see Charlie carried to the SUV. Why is it that we can't see a bullet hole or anything in his head?
I'm glad you asked. Just before your show and last night, and mapped out for the first time, and on your shows, this will be the first time this is seen anywhere in the world. And I'm so glad you asked that. One, nobody knew to look in Charlie's black hair for a bullet hole, so you're not going to see it. Two,
wouldn't there be blood coming out though?
Yes, and we do have that. I have an image of that. As a matter of fact, let me put that image in I got that on my phone, but I'm gonna keep talking, but I'm gonna transfer that image over too, so you can see that image as well.
Okay.
So what we have here in this video that I have up on the screen is hold on one second. Let me get this image of him being transported to the car, because I have my folder set up in my Google so I can be able to, just show you guys this stuff on the fly. Here it is. Boom. Let me add that to the folder album. Let's add it to podcast. Okay. Let me show you real quick. Go to podcast. Sorry, let me. And let's see where it's at. Where did it add to? I might have to reload it. Carrying to the car, carrying to the car, carrying to the car, carrying to the car. And where's it at? Where's it at? Come on. I just added it. And here it is. Sorry. So here I did this and kind of showed you. There's another one too that I can put in there. Kind of showing people that this is the image of him being carried to the car. And here's another one as well too, showing how they have his head kind of cupped and there's red at the top right part of his hair. I just added that one in there too. So we don't know, I can't show anything too graphic. And I know, we're on a live, so it also watches our words too. So I don't want to keep this up here too long, but you see the blood dripping down right here, right? There's heavy blood coming from this side. His wound is over here. The wound is on the left side of the neck facing forward. They're clearly holding his head right here. Clearly holding his head. Look at all the blood on the back side right here. This is all blood on his arm right here. This would have been blood coming out of this side of Charlie's head, out the right side of Charlie's head. Okay? So this is what I'm trying to explain to people is you thought all the blood was coming from the hole that's here. No one knew that he had a hole in his head here. So there was blood coming out here as well too. And look how it's dripping directly down. You see what I'm saying? So this can clearly be coming from the head, but let's also take it one step further. I'll show you another one. There we go. Sorry, wrong one. This one. Now this one, we can clearly see the way that they're holding their hands together to hold Charlie's head in place. But we can see the discoloration of the head right here, right? Now, I don't want to get into just the discoloration. I can actually show you without a shadow of a doubt that Charlie Kirk was shot in his head. That was the video that I just put out less than 12 hours ago, and it's right here. So I'm going to turn off the sound here, and we're just going to watch a piece of this, okay? Just a quick piece of it. There we go. So what I'm showing you guys here, matter of fact, instead of me talking, let me see, hold on. So that information right there is something that I just put out. That's a worldwide exclusive. You see right here, the infrared. I'm also showing you another clip here where the infrared is turning clear.
So wait. So because maybe I'm sure there's others that are maybe confused, similar to me. So are we looking at some recreated version of the top of Charlie's head here? What are we looking at here?
Okay, no problem. This is what you're looking at. You're looking at Candace Owens' video.
Okay.
You're looking at the video that Candace Owens showed on her channel
Oh,
and showed as the back of Charlie Kirk. That's the video you're looking at.
okay.
That's it right there. So what I did is put the video in negative lighting. And I basically used a couple little tips and tricks with exposing blacks and whites, moving blacks and whites around, to be able to see reflective surfaces, or the reflection off of surfaces. Sorry. And that's how I was able to come up with this. So it took me a long time to be able to figure it out. I said, if I can't see the beam, I have to be able to see the reflection of the beam. And so I played with this for a while. I initially got this wrong, actually, because I thought that, I'm going to show you what I thought, and I put it out too. I thought that this was blood in the back of his back right here at first. And so I incorrectly had put that out. That was the second thing that I got wrong in this whole investigation. So I got the person at the top wrong, and I got that part wrong. And I retracted both of those things. Anytime you get something wrong, guys and girls, let me be the first to tell you, retract it and do it with honor. Do it with integrity. If you get something wrong in the investigative journalism community, especially if you're independent, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It hurts your ego a little bit, or it'll give you a little ding to your pride a little bit, but it doesn't mean that you can't retract it. It doesn't mean that you can't wake up and start again tomorrow. So I got a couple things wrong, and I retract those things, but I have stood by my two-shot theory since the beginning. I have continued to prove the analytics of the two-shot theory, and I will continue to do so. But I want to encourage you guys and girls, when you see something and information that is contrary to what you may believe or to what you may know, or it adds more information into the pile to maybe debunk even what you know, look at the information with an open mind. Don't look at the information with the mind that wants to close in, this kind of stuff. See, I thought that this was blood right here. It wasn't. Somebody told me it was a thumb, and I laughed at them at first. And then I went back and looked, and I said, oh my God, I made
Wait, say it again. You thought what was red liquid exactly?
this right here.
Okay.
This is not blood, ladies and gentlemen. This is not blood. Okay. So it looks like a shot came through his shirt, and maybe there's some blood there. There's something red on the back of his shirt. That's not what it is. Okay. So, and I'm just pointing that out only not to confuse anybody, but just to let people know that was the second mistake that I made. So it's not like I'm doing this work and I'm not making any mistakes. I am not perfect, guys and girls. I'm not. But what I do know is what I'm looking at. And when you see stuff like this, and you can see the infrared beam turning on, you can see it and moving into position. It is very clear that advanced technology was used. Now, let me move a little bit further ahead, because I do want to kind of drive home this point real quick. I want to show you something here. Not only do we know that the infrared beam was there, it's the aftermath of what the infrared beam left behind for us. And that was the hole in Charlie's head. And that's what we're able to expose with turning this into negative lighting like this. Let's take a look at it together. So as you can see, I'm not going to let all that play, but as you can see that this hole is there, and the hole actually moves with his head, moves with the video. I'm going to leave it playing. But this is the hole that was in the back of his head. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, there was no blood splatter. There was blood splatter too. And
what?
Yes, there was blood splatter too. Let me take you to that. That was the video I put out just before we got on air. That's right here. Now, I'm going to make my screen a little bit bigger for you. But that's what that looks like. It's right there. Let's look at the other side over here. That was the beam when it was on and getting into place, into position. And as the head was being shot, that's what it looks like. That's the blood splatter coming out of the side of Charlie's head.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know what to look. I don't know how to determine if I'm looking at red liquid or not. I don't.
Well, it's not going to be the color red. This is.
Well, I know, I understand. I don't call it. I don't call it BLOOD on YouTube.
Okay.
I just use the term red liquid. How do I know that I'm? How do
Okay.
I know that I'm looking at something coming out of splattering out of his body? How do I
Yeah,
know this? Because I'm
yeah, no
I'm
problem.
hearing you say it, but I can't.
Yeah, no problem. That's why we have to use video analysis to do that, right?
Yep.
So, and that's why I put out a few different videos today so that we could be able to do that. Now, which one do I want to use? I think this one will be the easiest to show you because I know where it's at in this one. All right. So in this one, actually, hold on. It was the other one. Sorry, it's the shorter video, I think. Scroll up a little bit. Let me see. Is that the one? No. Let's keep going up a little bit. I want to make sure I'm giving you the right one. I think. Hold on. That's the picture. This is the 10-minute video. Okay, I'm sorry. I was going in the wrong direction. There's the shorter video. All right. There we go. All right. So here in this video, I kind of show it too. And we'll just go over it real quick so you can kind of see it. There you go. We'll start it from right there. See that?
Play it again.
Let's go back and play it again.
I mean, I'm seeing something. It looks like it may be his necklace. That's his necklace pendant, right? That we also see, correct?
No, not up here in his head. And those are droplets. Those are clearly not connected. So let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. We could do that too. That's always a good option to use here. I like doing that. There you go. So that way there's no ambiguity, you know?
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Get that in place. There we go. If you guys don't have a touch screen Samsung laptop, get yourselves one. It helps for these presentations. Watch this. There you go. Hold on. You see the dissipation coming out the side right
I'm
there?
definitely seeing something.
Yeah, it's not even hard to say. Look, there you go. Shot comes in. There you go. Right out the side where his head. Now, of course, it's not going to be red, but this is the closest evidence that you're going to see of a headshot. This is literally a headshot, the splatter coming out the side of a headshot. Now, there's more evidence. This is not even just all of the evidence right here. So now you have the infrared beam on the side of the head. You have the blood splatter at the time that the head was being affected by the shot. You have the downward neck cavitation pulling the head and the neck down into the left, breaking the C2 to C7 right here in the spine. Okay, so when this bullet came and entered down and came out of the neck, the C2 to C7 right here was broken. Those C2 to C7 vertebrae. That's why his head flopped back and weird the way that it did. So let's go back.
How would you explain the shirt, the weird movement of his shirt?
Yeah, no problem. No problem. So that's kind of the beauty of the two-shot analysis, two-shot theory, is explaining the shirt actually. And that's, let's go here. So what I like to show you here is, and this is probably one of the best graphics better graphics I could have done to kind of represent this. As a matter of fact, this is going to take a little while to load. So let's go to the Utes. You know what? No, let's do this.
And it's not going to actually play that, correct? I just saw the image of Charlie. It's not going to play that.
No. Because I don't want to. Well, even if it does play, it's distilled, right?
Okay.
There's blurred on the face. You see how everything looks, right? So it's not meant to. It's meant to beat those, those pesky things that control us in that way. All right, We'll stop it right there. So that's actually perfect. So this is from a video. This is an overlay right here on this side from a video.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually a perfect spot to drop this at. What we're seeing is, and I put a bullet here to kind of let you know, this is how the bullet hit the back of Charlie's head. So when it entered into the back of Charlie's head and it tumbles downward, it breaks the C2 to C7. But as it's doing that, it widens. Okay, you don't see this on camera because we don't have a camera that's 5,000 frames per second. Okay, these cameras we have are literally 1% or less of the value of that. So that means your chances of actually catching a full-blown cavitation that blows out like this is next to none. You're not going to catch it. But that's exactly what happened to the inside of Charlie's body. It basically ballooned out, and to the point where it was almost like, hold on, we can't show it doesn't show the bleeding anyway, so it just shows the wound. There you go. You see that cavitation? Imagine this happening after this comes in his head, and this is what's happening inside of his neck. So we see that it pushes down into the left, down into the left. The bullet comes in here and pushes down into the left. How do we know? Because Charlie's beard line drops. It drops not like this, it drops that way. So when it pushes down into the left, that is the force of the momentum that is coming in his body. When you have 50,000 psi, which is, about average for a rifle round, that's the pressure, right, coming into the body and pressing down. Charlie's sitting on a chair. His body can't go down anywhere. So what ends up happening is his body bounces, and that's what we notice here. As his body is being compressed down, it looks like he's kind of bouncing up in a way. But the first brunt to take that was his shirt. And that's why his shirt poofed out at the top as he's eating around right now. He's literally eating around, and all of the cavitation from that round, hence the discoloration of all the skin on the side. And this is exactly where the bulging is and where his skin is about to blow out because of the soft tissue of the neck. So we're watching this round come in real time and kind of cut Charlie down, in that way. Now, the neck wound, this is very important to know. The neck wound begins to open well after the rear shot impact. So that completely eliminates any shot from the LC, because if he was shot from the building up top, then this wound would have opened before the shirt covered it right here.
Right.
So that's not what happened, though. This wound happened underneath the shirt, as the shirt was like this. And then as the shirt began to settle down, the wound blew out. So, and this is all, you see the white there, the egging that I call it, meaning it's starting to balloon. You start to see the blood starting to form under the shirt. So it's already starting to come out. All right. So we're not going to get all the way into it. I don't want to, I want to protect your YouTube. So as this is happening, right? This is perfect. I actually clicked on it. Perfect. God is working good for us today. This is what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So the first shot from the rear is exiting out of the front, right? And we have, video of that too, of the shot coming out of the front. This is the second shot entering at the same time that the first shot is coming in. These are two simultaneous shots that landed at the same time. This is an operation with comms, communications, and a lot of moving components. This is why Dan Flood was standing behind Charlie Kirk and patting his arm to give the signal to take the shot. That was not just for the drone. That was also for what's his face?
Rick Cutler.
For Rick Cutler. Yes. So that was their note. Take the shot. Now is the time to take the shot. And at that time, they both committed to their movements. The drone took its shot, and we seen Charlie's head compress down into the left. And Rick Cutler took his shot as he reached up and pretended he was squeezing, or pretended he was moving his sleeve, but he was really squeezing his hand. The type of ammunition that he used to take this shot to create this tiny hole in the shirt. And what happened was Charlie's shirt was poofed up at the top. While it was poofed up, Rick Cutler's shot hit. And when his shot hit, it caused this triangulation right here.
So wait, are you arguing that, like, what's the time span you're arguing in between? So how much time before the second shot? Because Rick Cutler seems to have done everything at the same time that Charlie reacted.
Hundredths of a millisecond. They're at the same time. They're exactly at the same time. Yes. This shot absolutely hits first. And the only reason we know that, I can show you that real quick. This shot hits first. And the only reason we know that, and I think this is probably one of the best videos, Cub Keller put out a video that's 60 frames per second. And anybody can go to Cub Keller's X account and get this video and do this. Turn it negative. Zooming in the back of Charlie's head. And look, I show you the frames down here. Look. I show you right there. Look, it's at the 38-second mark that I have in there. And I'm going right between the frames to show you exactly where the infrared beam is, right, as it's coming into contact. Now, look at his shirt at exactly that time. This is how we know that the first shot has entered Charlie, is because of the initial movement of his shirt right there. And it would coincide with also with the infrared beam going on the back of his head. So
a bullet that small.
No, the bullet's not that small.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The first bullet. Let me be clear. I'm sorry, and I'm glad you said that. That's that. Put that on me. That's let me explain that. The first bullet that hit him. Oh, sorry. The first bullet that hit him is a rifle round. Let's be clear about that. That is a real rifle round that went through his head. Hence why we have.
But we don't see any splatter on regular camera footage. Like, I understand, like when you black light, but
yeah,
how is that possible? That's the part I challenge. I'm trying to understand how, because this is very compelling, but in order for me to even entertain it, I'd have to, like, I would imagine some sort of splatter. Somebody would have seen, reported something. We would have saw it by now.
I am the somebody. You're talking to him. I am somebody, and I'm the one who's reporting it to you. So yeah, it's unbelievable until you see it, and then of course you have to believe it then. But the reason why I can give why, I don't want to oversell myself as a know-it-all or the person who is the authority on all things. I'm not that at all. I have looked at the same footage as everybody else. And no, I am not able to pull up that splatter any other place other than when you are able to take Candace's video from behind, her video. That's all this is, right? Take her video from behind and just do the negative effect on it. So once you do the negative effect and play with the blacks and whites, you can clearly see, there it is.
But how would you explain the reason we can't see it on regular camera footage?
Oh, that's easy. So let's look at it right here. Matter of fact, I can answer that right here. That's actually perfect question. Perfect timing too. So let me turn off so you can see this too. Turn off there you go, closed caption. All right, now look at the bottom of your screen right here, right? This is your frames per second. So everybody watching that, if you put a video inside of CapCut and you open it up, right, you can actually open it up so you can get down to the individual frames. Now, this isn't even opened up all the way, but this is as open as I need it to be for this purpose, right? So what we're looking at from 15 to 20 to 25 and then 2, all of this is inside of 1 second. That 2 is the second. So what we're looking at is 25, 30 frames. This right here is 30 frames per second. So from 1 until 2, we have all of these frames, right? So if we're looking in this 1 second, imagine what I'm saying. This is 1 second of time. And within that 1 second of time, this is what we have. Watch how quick this is. Boom. From here to here, it's a couple frames of a second.
Right, but could we see splatter in a couple of frames per second without the negative effect?
No. And the reason why is because of the black hair. Dark blood, black hair, You can't even see it. So the reason why you can see it now is because anything dark is white. So it makes it a lot easier to see when the background of whoever this was in the background probably had on a white shirt or something. It makes it a whole lot easier to see in that regard. Let me go back one more time and let's yeah, there we go. Look at the frames down here.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Look how quick that was. It's only a couple frames. Boom. Just that quick. So you're only getting a couple frames to be able to even see what's happening up here in any kind of, capacity. So that's why I believe that no one has been able to see what's happening up there in Charlie's head, is because simply he has black hair, and the place that you would put a bullet so that you wouldn't see the red coming, from the wound is in the black hair. Black and red, or red blood against black hair is
I
it's
s- I
almost
understand
invisible.
what you're saying, and look. Listen, you have a background in the military. I don't. I don't even have a background in weapons, so I won't sit here and pretend to as if I understand these things. But that's actually important. I'm actually in the perfect position because most people who are following this don't have a history in weaponry and military. And the reason why that's important is because for people to believe this and buy into this, and you've spent, I'm sure, countless hours with your research. For people to buy into this, I think a lot of folks will have to see something with their eyes without the black light, because I understand you're saying what you see, but it's not as clear to the untrained eye.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you. This is why.
Okay.
Imagine saying that about an infrared beam. We can't say that about an infrared beam. You can't see it with your eyes. So this is the importance of understanding scientific coherence of things
Mhm.
that actually fit together.
Okay.
Because in the absence of where our other senses are not able to pick up on things, we're able to see it in other ways, and we're able to link it in other ways. So if we have a beam like what's on the screen right now, and it's clearly being shined on the side of a head during an assassination, and we clearly see blood splatter coming out of the side of the head during the assassination, then we would have to then say the shot is coming from somewhere over there. That's how we kind of normally follow the trail of scientifically coherent data, is in as instead of the opposite of saying, okay, I see the reflection of a beam, I see liquid coming out the side of the head,
But let
so
me
the shot,
pause you right there. Let me pause you
so
right
the
there.
shot must have came from over here.
But no, I'm with you on that. I question that as well, and I follow you on parts of it. But what I'm needing you to understand is, so you're saying it's very clear that we're seeing splatter.
Yeah.
It's not clear to me. I'm trying to see what you see. I need
Oh,
your help to see what you're showing. I hear what you're saying.
so here's another thing too that may work for you as well too, is go watch this video on your own,
Yep,
right?
yep.
So when you go watch it on your own and you get to this location right here, you can analyze it. You're seeing it just kind of like Candace was showing us the video that Terrell was showing her, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
streaming it to her, and she's has it on her laptop, and she's recording it on her phone, and then she's restreaming it to us, and then we're downloading degradation, right?
for
So
sure.
you might be dealing with degradation on your end. So I can't call to what your eyes can see, right?
Okay,
But what I do know is, and I can take you over here, is the people who are watching it right here, they see it.
okay,
All of these people, they get it. Especially all of these people that are over here, they're starting to see it too. So the folks who do see it, they're lining up, and I would advise anybody, jump on my X, go see what these folks are talking about. Look at this image right here, like stuff like this is clearly, where's my pen? Let me get this pen right here, let me see if it register. Okay. All right, cool, perfect. Look at that.
With your fancy Samsung. Okay.
Yeah, look, but I took this from my Samsung tablet just now. I'm a Samsung guy over here. So this right here, right? This is the bruising underneath Charlie's shirt. Now, we can't normally see this, right? This is when he was being carried to the car. This is that. Now, this image is enhanced a little bit to be able to see this a little bit better. So let me be very clear about that. I don't know who actually enhanced it. I got this off of who shared it to me. But then I went ahead and said, okay, I see that he was trying to prove something over here and a patch and all this other kind of stuff. But what I clearly saw was here from my series. This is the bruising that happened in the middle of Charlie's body. Okay, this is from the second shot. And this is from the pinfire pistol that went through his body. So I'm telling you that in saying that everyone is if this was as easy to figure out as just seeing some, simple things fly around, this would have been figured out a long time ago. Right? They would have already said, oh, okay, this is here, that's here, that's here. But what happened is there's so many things you can't see that are happening, like this bruising and blood from underneath the shirt. This is not fake. This is very real. This man was shot in the chest, and here's the bruising, and here's the blood coming from that shot from his chest as he's being carried to the car. So we're not always going to exactly see, and here's another photo right here. I love this photo. I made this one yesterday. Like, you hear a shot go off, and this girl was looking down in her cell phone. Where's the first plate? Look at Charlie's body. Charlie's already hit, right? And Mr. Tug on the sleeve over here, Rick Cutlass, look at him. Look at the first place that this girl looks. Right at him. My guy over here too. Right there. So, there's a lot.
Hold on. I was about to agree with you, but let me challenge you. You can point to two people looking, but most people are still looking straight.
Yeah, that
because they were already looking at Charlie, is what you'd say.
Yeah, they're already looking at Charlie, so that would make sense. She wasn't though. She was.
It looks like the heavyset lady in the middle is looking off to the side as well. You see her?
Yeah, she's looking. Matter of fact, okay, let's do something. I was gonna save this. I was gonna save it. You messing me up, Didi. I'll show it to you real quick. So I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. All right, I got that video. So I'm gonna show you something from that video that I think everybody should kind of see. So let me find it real quick. Let me see. There's something really good in that video that I want y'all to kind of see, and once you see it, you won't forget it. So let me find it. I'm sorry. Here it is. Okay. So let's watch this together, right? This is that 60 frames per second video. Okay.
Okay.
Now I want you to notice something here. Let's stop it right there. Look at that good Samsung.
Look at that.
Got us on point today. All right. Watch her right here in the middle. Watch what she does. He's looking down at her cell phone, right? Watch what she does. This is so important. I'm breaking this on your show. Watch this. Hold on. Let's get back in there. We want to keep it right.
Is it blurred? What's about to happen? Is it blurred?
No, it's not blurred. You'll be able to see it. Look.
No, I mean, like, is Charlie going to be blurred?
You won't see anything with Charlie.
Okay.
Yeah, you won't see anything. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, you're not going to see anything of significant. Oh man, sorry about that. All right, hold on. Come on, stop. Okay. So let me get back in there. All right, let's look at her actions. What she does specifically, right? Her specifically. Watch. She looks right up at him. Okay. She looks right up at him. Now watch what she does after that. Look where she's looking. In the air. Now I tried to stop that as quick as I could. I'm going to show it in another video. I have more video of this later on. Her eyes go from here to in the air on the other side of the tent where the drone would have shot from.
Play it over, because it looks like, I want to say,
Charlie.
It doesn't look like.
And then to Charlie.
I follow, but I'm not so sure she looked at Rick. I think she just looked off to the side. I think Rick is in front of her. Am I right about that? I think she's looking past him.
No, you're absolutely wrong about that one. She's absolutely standing right beside Rick. See?
Okay,
He's at the rail.
I see.
Rick's at the rail. Hand right there. He's looking down in her cell phone, standing right there, shoulder to shoulder, few feet apart. Now watch her. She's going to look at Rick. She's going to immediately look at Rick and then look in the air and then look at Charlie.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Move her right there.
His behavior is so strange, bro.
It is because he's.
Why is he even facing Charlie to begin with?
Because he's about to shoot him. Watch this. Watch what she does. She's down in that cell phone. She ain't paying no attention. Watch what she do. Watch who she look right up at. Boom. Immediately, soon as Charlie is hit, look right at him. Now watch where her head goes in the air. Look, she's not looking at Charlie. She's looking up. Now watch, her head's going to turn to the side. She's going to look at Charlie, and then she's going to get down. Now she's looking at Charlie. She done already looked at Rick. We'll go back and look at it again. She done already looked at Rick. Boom. Looks up. Looks at Charlie. Down. That is the most telltale sign that I've seen from anybody during this whole event of exactly, look at that. You can't even make that up. Like, look at that. Look at her reaction.
Yeah, I got it. I got you. Yep. I see it.
Rick to straight in the air to Charlie, and then I'm getting down. This is the first time I showed anybody that. So I was going to put that out later on today, but you forced me to put it out on your show. You made me do it.
So what do you think? Let me ask you this. Sure. What do you think Charlie's security was doing all that time behind the table? What were they doing?
Man, I believe that the operation, so in my opinion, the operation failed, right?
Okay.
What happened was, you see Dan Flood here setting off the operation.
Hold on,
and this is,
hold on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There we go.
All right. So we see Dan Flood kind of setting up the operation. We're going to see him. You see where the sun line is on his arm?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see him step back a little bit into the light, just a little bit. This is what I talk about in my series. This is subconscious. He doesn't even realize he's doing this. Let me blow it up for you guys. He doesn't even realize that he's doing it, right? Dan Flood's going to step back and into the sunlight, tap his arm twice, and that's going to signify the beginning of the operation. Yep. This is how they practice it. So he wasn't thinking to himself, don't do this on camera. Watch what he does. Boom. Steps to the side and a little bit back, and that's when that arm comes out with the tap. Boom, double tap. And at that point, Charlie's hit.
Crazy.
You see what I'm saying? So Dan Flood, anybody who's saying that Dan Flood was not a part of this, how could he not have been? Like, this is what, in the military, this is how you give a command. This is how you give notice that, of an operation. You're not talking with words. If you're doing it, you're talking with signals.
Right.
Signals, and you're speaking over comms too. They all have comms in, and they're all, listening to somebody. I would love to know who they're listening to and who's running this play. But they're listening over comms to somebody because none of them are speaking.
Right.
So it's not like they're talking to each other through the comms. No, they're listening to a stream from somewhere that's keeping them all on the same page. And this is where he comes in with his little double tap, step in the sunlight, boom. And then everybody acts surprised like they don't know what happened.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, you can keep that opinion for yourself. I don't think they behaved like they were surprised at all. Yesterday I dropped a video. It's not the first time we've discussed it on the channel, and many other people have been exposing this for months. But Brian Harpo literally just turns around and gets into action. He doesn't even look at Charlie. When the sound goes off, he just turns around and gets into action. Why aren't you shocked at what happened, man?
Yeah.
Why aren't you shocked? And he's not the only one. It was other like the cameraman. I'm gonna play something myself as well. I want to show you all this, and I'm sure you've seen this a gazillion times as well. I'm gonna show you all.
Let me know when you take my screen off so I can put it back.
Yeah, I'm gonna take your screen off for just a moment, and I'm gonna show you all. I shared this yesterday,
There it is.
and I'm gonna show it again.
I'll move that out of here for the next time, so when I share, it won't
Cameraman, where you at?
do that. There you go.
Bingo, here it is. What is that?
Yeah.
Dude, what it's like a movie script.
It is.
Let's watch this again. He doesn't jump, he's not shocked, he's not scared, nothing.
Nothing.
He just turns around. Look, get some action. And then I'm gonna just play the one of Brian Harpo just real fast, so that people who haven't seen it yet, there's nothing. There's no excuse for this. It's clear that these people allegedly had foreknowledge.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at Brian
Counting or not
Harpo.
counting gang violence. Counting or not counting gang violence.
Look at Brian Harpo in the blue.
Counting or not counting gang violence.
Bro, what?
Yeah.
He just hops into motion. It's
You
like
would-
it was all rehearsed.
You would think they all had just nerves of steel.
Because somebody's going to say, well, they're military, they're trained for this, this is what they live for. No. Explain the cameraman. The cameraman doesn't flinch, doesn't jump. We haven't even spoken about Mikey McCoy, who also seemed to know that it was going to happen. He immediately turns around, walks off, never looks back, never talks to anybody. Huh?
He is the dead giveaway to
Dead
all
giveaway.
of this. He is the
They should have left him at home.
They should have absolutely left Mikey McCoy at home because he's not military in any kind of way. He's one of the most passive guys, we'll just say, that you could probably want to meet. And for him to hear a shot come in to somebody that he is super close to.
Right.
Look, I had a friend who was a good friend of mine who was shot in the neck a couple years ago, and it broke me. It hurt me
Sorry to hear that.
in a bad way. It's okay. And it was, I used to run a music studio back at home, and another guy from the music dealings, they got all juiced up and he shot him and stood over him and then shot him in the neck and killed him. And so I cried, man, for months. I'm still not over that. I'm still hurt, and I wasn't even there, and I could just see it, you know? When I seen Mikey McCoy literally just turn
In less than a second.
and just smooth walk off into the distance and kept going.
And kept going.
Bro, my head just exploded.
And when I knew, I said something's up here because, and then they go on to the Charlie Kirk show and they describe Mikey McCoy as this phenomenal person who behaved and was orchestrating and keeping people in line and was marching orders. He wasn't doing any of that. What are you talking about?
Yes. What are you talking about? All of that nonsense and crap that they were saying was because let's talk about it, right? You said something really key a second ago. You said basically it was like a script, and it's like there was no time in between. It's like a movie.
Yep.
And if you think about it, think about how many cameras were there. We look at all these people that are suspects standing in the middle of the audience with their glasses on and their baseball caps and their different color, their matching shirts and all this kind of stuff. We see all these people standing around holding phones, and I look at those people as when you look at my series, Charlie Kirk Operation 322, you'll see that Provo was the command hub. Okay.
Okay.
Provo, Utah was the command hub, and they had drones in the sky, and they were watching everything in real time. Excuse me, real quick. Hold on 1 second. They were watching everything kind of in real time. I'm going to keep talking. And as they were watching everything in real time, you kind of noticed that basically these drones that were up there. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you real quick if you have the time for me to show you. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right. So when you go to the articles section, let me get that open real quick, and just let me know when you're sharing it, and
I'm sharing it.
Okay, good. All right. So when you go to the article section over here, oops, sorry. There you go. I kind of did the same thing, guys and girls, with this in the article section. I did basically, I'm turning everything that they did that day into black light. I'm turning it into negative light, because once I turn it negative and play with the blacks and the black and the white settings, I'm able to get a lot more contrast of objects that are moving about. And that's what I was able to see this day. Is they had so many drones moving in the sky this day that I was only able to identify a few of them, right? And others have identified more than I've identified. But some of these things were birds, some of them were bugs, and dispelling all of those, you had certain drones low. But either way, out of all of the drones that you were seeing, not all those drones were there to kill Charlie Kirk. It just wasn't like that. I believe there was a couple deadly drones, but I believe that the vast majority of all of the drones that we saw were for surveillance and reconnaissance. So it's not like they weren't sitting back watching this in real time. They had their own view of what they were doing to Charlie Kirk in real time, so that they basically they can know what play to call next. This is I didn't say this earlier, and I want to say it now. That video that you first showed in the beginning, where it talked about all the guns and everything that was around, in part 6 that I'm putting out, I'm going to expound on Operation 322, and I'm going to show people that this was supposed to be a mass shooting event. Charlie Kirk was supposed to get shot. There's an infrared beam on Phil Lyman. I'm not going to cover that right now, but I am going to be doing that on my channel, maybe later on tonight or tomorrow night. There's an infrared beam on Phil Lyman. And with all of the guns that we saw around, I believe there was supposed to be a lot more chaos and commotion. With the person that we saw up on I believe the WB building or whatever building that was. I believe there was supposed to be a lot more chaos, a lot more commotion, but because they botched the shot to Charlie Kirk, and the main thing that they botched, let me show you something. This is going to be in part 6, and I don't want to give away too much right now for part 6, but I will show you something in part 6. I can do that much. Let me see. Video. I might have to go back into my assets. So basically, I think that was Brian Harpool that was on side of him right here.
In the white?
Right here, in the blue.
Yeah, that's Brian Harpool.
All right. So Brian Harpool in his hand, and it's not in this video, but Brian Harpool in his hand has a device, okay, that he squeezes at the same time that Charlie Kirk is shot. Now, what you'll also notice that Brian Harpool has is comms in his ear. So Brian Harpool can hear when this operation is going off. He does not need to be looking at Charlie Kirk to squeeze the thing that is in his hand. That is key. That is key to know. So when we look at the video of Brian Harpool squeezing the object in his hand, why was he squeezing that? In my opinion, that was a detonator. And yes, I do believe that the Rode microphone was supposed to be detonated, but it failed. This never went off. If you can do me a favor, Didi, and put back on the screen that graphic that
Yeah.
we started with. I want to show the people something from that. Let me know when that's
It's up.
there. Okay. All right. So if you're looking at the yellow dot that's closest to Charlie, that yellow dot is the one that I call that's to the right of Charlie sitting down. That yellow dot is the one that I call in my series, Charlie Kirk Operation 322. I call him Cell Phone Gun Guy. Cell phone gun guy, if you guys know what a cell phone gun is, it's a gun that looks like a cell phone and you kind of pull it out.
Oh yeah. We covered this early on. It's a person in the crowd that the moment Charlie gets hit, the phone, whatever he had in his hand, literally like recoils at the same exact time. We covered this. It's just so crazy how many things we forget in this case.
Yes, exactly. So what I believe, and then this is the first time I'm putting this out, it'll be in part 6. And I'm not going to say exactly why yet, because I'm going to save that big reveal for part 6. But what happened was that guy was in the yellow was supposed to also be a patsy, just like Tyler Robinson. But that part of the operation did not go right because the device didn't detonate. So nobody ever worried about what happened to the right side of Charlie because nothing technically happened to the right side of Charlie. Had that device detonated, they would have blamed it on that guy and they would have said that guy shot Charlie in the Rode microphone. Do you see how easy that is to say that guy shot Charlie in the Rode microphone? And the person who would have actually detonated it would have been Brian Harpool. But Brian Harpool's detonation device failed. It absolutely failed. There's no excuse in the world why that cell phone gun guy and Brian Harpool are moving at exactly the same time, looking like they are committing to an action. There's no excuse except for that leg of the operation failed. So when we get to the car and we see all these pieces in the car, my belief, and I put this out months ago, I told John this months ago, I'm not going to get in that, but I told him months ago, it is more plausible that based on the localization of the small shards that are in the vehicle and how they're localized in the seat and then around that right corner of the seat, that a device actually detonated in the vehicle than actually on the stage. We don't see those shards on the stage. We don't see them falling out of his shirt on the way to the car, but they are in abundance inside of the actual vehicle. The signal did not go off when he was on stage. They botched it. And there's a massive reason why the signal did not go off. They cut their, let me just say this. Let me say this. I can give you this much. Everybody forgot about the whole left side of the audience to Charlie and all of them having problems with their devices. Everybody forgot about the people whose videos chopped out and they didn't even get it, even though they were holding their phone right at Charlie and it just glitched. Everybody forgot, even the what's the guy's name who took that long video and he was walking around and he interviewed Phil Lyman. He has the real good, it's like an hour-long video.
Oh, I don't know his name.
Yes, you do.
He was on campus.
Yes. He's the guy who took the major all of us are pulling our drone detail from his video.
Blake.
No.
Blake. I have to say Blake wasn't on campus. I don't. I wonder. I don't. You say I do know this person's name.
You do. We all do. All of us do.
It's not Phil Lyman. It's not.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
And he was there the day of.
Yeah. I can show you his thing real quick. Actually, it's in my series right here. I'll go to my series. But anyway, his video is also one of the ones that glitched out as well too, right? So all of these things, we can't look at all of this glitching as just coincidental. It's anything but coincidental, It speaks to the fact that there was a significant electronic event that happened to kind of cover the two shots. And that's exactly why this event happened. They created an electronic event to knock out people's devices so you wouldn't be able to record that second shot or hear it. That's why that girl looking directly at let me see, hold on. Man.
Well, while you're looking for that, I'm going to actually play. I just found the video of the phone gun
Here it is. Here it is.
person.
Here it is.
All right.
And
Well,
yeah, then we can watch that one too. So our buddy up here that did this video, remember him? The one that was doing this video?
yeah, I know. I'm familiar. I don't know who recorded this though.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, his whole video, you should definitely get that one, man. It's like an hour and some change long.
I've watched it. I've watched
okay,
it. I just don't know the person.
Okay, okay. And I forget his name right now, but his video, even when the shot initially goes off, like right here.
Yep.
Let's see if we can see it right here. When the shot goes off, watch it skip.
Can you make the video big?
Yeah. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Sorry about that. Let's try this. Let's go back. Even his skips out for a second. Sorry about that. I think my bad. So I think I actually talked through that, and that's my bad on that. But right here is actually I kind of forwarded through on my own in this actual video. But right here, when he's actually getting ready to go to the rail, is when the video actually glitches out. Now, if his video glitched out and he wasn't using a cell phone, okay, this man is on a professional camera, a very high quality, good camera. Thank God he got as much footage as he did that day. If his camera blanked out and then all the people on this side of the audience blanked out, and then a guy right up in here too, even his camera just completely, he missed the whole thing. Like he was literally has a video and then it cuts to right after Charlie was shot. If everybody is having all of these problems with their devices in this area, that lets you know that they don't, especially this left side of Charlie right here, that lets you know they don't want anybody to see what was happening right here to the right. They don't want anyone to know exactly what was happening up here, because there is, I don't care how much footage you show me and you find, during the time that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, you will not find a single photo shot of here. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So it is very telltale that the only place that's literally on that campus that you can't get any data from is exactly the same place that is the only place that the shot could have even originated from.
I see.
So it's this electronic interference is something that everybody completely forgot about, and it played a massive role in hiding both shots, and basically in covering up exactly how this operated. We were under electronic warfare that day, and not just electronic warfare, but we were under psychological operations, Hasbara. Immediately they started coming out, Israel didn't do this, and all this other kind of nonsense. And we all knew in our heads and hearts in the beginning that in order to pull something like this off, it would probably take a lot of people. But now we've kind of scaled it back, and we're saying to ourselves that he was either shot by the furry or that somebody put an explosive microphone on him. And I would like to say it's much
More complex.
Yes, more complex than that.
Let me play the video I just found.
Yeah, can I is it on your screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, your screen is still being shared. I'm gonna remove it now.
Okay. Let me know.
Right. So I'm gonna play the video footage, and I've cropped out Charlie. You can only see the top of Charlie's head. This is what we covered. What, just make a mere a week or just days after everything.
Realization of the small shards that are.
I just screen recorded it. So here it is. Do y'all see that guy in the white shirt?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, that's him.
What is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
The perfect timing of Rick Cutler, the perfect
Mhm.
timing of this person.
Yeah.
How? Dan Flood, how?
Yeah.
So this show trial that's taking place, I really could care less because I'm looking at things right in my face that we have yet to hear solid explanations for. Why are these people not being questioned? Why haven't they been taken in?
Yes.
Look at what this guy is doing. You can't deny what we're looking at right here, right
Can't
now.
deny it. You can't deny it. And I was somebody asked me a question about that earlier on my on my X, and they said, well, what about I call him cell phone gun guy. They were like, well, what about cell phone gun guy? And I had to let them know. I said, well, when you slow it down frame by frame, un, unfortunately for the person that thought they had it right, I thought I had it right too. When I saw him do that, I was like, he did it. That wasn't the case. He was just a second late. Charlie was already impacted by the 2 bullets, and he was just getting that last wrench into whatever he was doing. To me, it looked, and this is why I call him cell phone gun guy, because it looked like he was struggling to open it or to do something. Like he was
it was
trying
like malfunction or troubleshooting or something.
yeah, he was like trying to get it right, and he messed it up, whatever it was. Now, if we think just like how they do for patsies, and how they're doing for Tyler Robinson, think about if you think that Tyler Robinson is a patsy, in which if you watch my stuff, you know that he is. You have to think about how he was groomed and how he got there, and how I believe that some of these other people, like Cell Phone Gun Guy, also got there. I believe that these people were groomed, placed into this crowd, and that basically this operation was at the end of this operation, Charlie was going to die no matter what. And then on top of that, I think they wanted other people to die as well too, to make it a mass shooting event, because that's what they talk about with all the trans furry
Right.
events and all. So I think they
It would
wanted
be
them,
a lot more believable under those circumstances.
yes, I think they wanted a mass shooting event, but they botched it so bad, and then that device did not go off. They had to get Charlie the hell out of there, because if it went off while he's laying on the ground, that's a problem.
Which is why they didn't wait for any ambulance, didn't take
They
any
didn't
EMT
wait.
support.
They
They
didn't
put him in
pack
that
him on the
SUV and got out
ground.
of there.
They didn't even pack him on the ground. You would normally pack at the site.
Here's
because you gotta
here's a
stop the
great
blood
question
flow.
for you though. Why did they dig up 10 inches of gravel underneath Charlie and pave over? See, a lot of people focus on the fact that they paved over, but no, they also dug up gravel first. The fact that they did both of those things is clear indication to me that there's something that they don't want to be found. Within your theory, I'm not sure if they have anything to hide under those circumstances.
Oh, they do. Oh yeah,
Okay.
they do. The first round, and I didn't show you. I can show you if you want me to, but I don't have to. I can just tell you. When it came down behind his ear and it came out the front like this, and it came out front, there was a piece that actually flew out the front, a fragment that flew out the front. Now, if it's a fragment of the bullet or the bone, we don't know. I would suspect that it's the bullet, though, a fragment of the bullet.
Which would mean that if we are to believe that the coroners or whoever reported conducted the autopsy, if we are to believe that the autopsy is real and Charlie Kirk did lose his life, because there are a considerable amount of people who are believing that he was not unalive that day. But for those that do, and for people like yourself, it would align with what they claim to have found within Charlie's autopsy, which is fragments of a bullet. The part of the reason why I don't fully believe that, though, even if I did believe that Charlie lost his life, is that they did not report anything about the headshot.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't think we're. Do you understand what? Let me tell everybody that's listening to this, okay? And from the first commenter, I know you guys don't care about me, and it's not about me, right? But I'll say this: if I worked in a space over 20 years ago that talked about UAVs and all this stuff before there was a single drone in the sky, before anybody knew what a drone was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I worked in this space, and now it's over 20 years later, and now we're starting to see some of this stuff pop up. And this is actually what's about to become of the United States in the next 6 months to a year and a half. Trust and believe they can hide anything that they want to hide. They don't have to put everything out on the forefront that they know and that they're capable of. There's so many things that our government and our military are capable of and that they can do without anyone ever catching them. Just like this, it took me I worked in this place. I worked with General Abrams. I sat in these meetings, and I did an 8-hour series, and it still took me 9 months to figure out
What exactly they did.
not exactly what exactly they did, how to get real solid proof of that infrared beam on the back of his head. It's that hard to break down some of these more technical details. That should be all over the internet right now, the reflection of the infrared beam on the back of somebody's head during an assassination. There ain't no bigger piece of evidence out there. That's the biggest piece of evidence on the planet right now. The young boy, Tyler Robinson, he should be going home. He should be going home right now, because
What's
there's
the
no
purpose
way
of the
that-
trial? Why would they even go through with the trial? Why not just take out Tyler
for us.
for entertainment?
No, for us, we're supposed to be dummy to foo-foos, because what we're supposed to do is believe in the rule of law. We're supposed to believe that they're doing the right things and being righteous,
And justice is going to be served.
and justice is going to be served. Meanwhile, they're operating in the esoteric, and they sacrifice this man right before our eyes and right before our children. There's a lot of kids on that campus that day. They sacrifice this man right before him so they can do this to claim their ascension of power. The Epstein class is moving on. They're moving on with or without us. They don't care at this point, and they're being brash about it, and they're showing us through all of their actions. So a lot of people don't understand that, and I'll say this, on your show too. Charlie Kirk was a government employee.
Okay.
He was a government employee with a security clearance. He worked for the USAF BOV. He was appointed by President Donald Trump back in March of last year. And when he was appointed, he only did one meeting for the USAF BOV, and it was in August. I think it was August 7th, almost a month to the date that he was assassinated. Now, why is that important? It's important to understand that Charlie Kirk was a government employee with a security clearance, because when you understand this next part, it'll give you motive, right? Not only was he a government employee with a security clearance, Charlie Kirk also struck up his own deal with TikTok. His own deal. He didn't include Israel. He didn't include any of the top heads of the Republican Party. He didn't include Trump and his family. He went and sat down with China in TikTok. This is in Charlie's own words. This is not me saying this. This is Charlie's own words saying this. And I did a video on this, so I'll show that video on my profile. I'll share it out later. But he specifically talked about striking up a deal with TikTok so that he can control his own voice in the direction of the Republican Party without anybody shackling him, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine what I'm saying. A man with a phone that has 30 million plus Republicans in the power under his thumb. Okay. This man now goes to China and TikTok and says, hey, I ain't dealing with Israel. They messing me over. I'm trying to get visibility. I'm trying to be seen, and we don't like what you're doing with the platform, but if you work with us, maybe we could work with you. And they say, oh, China jumps at it. Absolutely. Let's cut a partnership. They actually cut a real partnership and inked it out. And Charlie started living it out. In Charlie's episodes, he was opening up his episodes promoting TikTok, because that was his brand partnership. He was promoting not just things on TikTok like people do, products from TikTok. No, he was promoting TikTok because of the brand partnership that he had procured with TikTok himself. So think about this. A man with a government job, a security clearance, sitting next to the president, makes on his own volition, makes his own decision to go and start up for the Republican Party to amplify his voice, his own contract with China and TikTok. That is exactly why Israel started jumping through hoops and saying, we got to buy TikTok. We got to buy TikTok, because they knew that Charlie was kicking their ass. I'm just being honest. He was killing them. Tens of millions of views a day. And he talks about this. He did it on the PBB podcast. He broke it all down. Everybody can go watch that. It's out there. It's a tremendous piece. So he broke it all down, how he was getting these views and how he was. So now you got a government job, government clearance. You're making money with the Trump family because your book publishing deal is with the Trump family. Everybody forgot that? Tens of millions of dollars being made with the Trump family. And now you're telling Benjamin Netanyahu, no, I don't want to do this no more. I'm out. I'm cool. They're looking at you like, bro, we done already spent the bread. You done already spent the check. What you mean? You can't spend our money and just say no. We was being nice by just asking you. That's a formality. We already gave you the bread, buddy. So after they already gave him the bread, they're looking at him like, okay, you just going to walk out the door and go take the Republican Party in the direction that you want to go? After we allowed you to sit at our table and gave you the money? Bet. And they did what any gangster would do. They cut him out. They said, bet. We'll see. They devised a plan and they turned it into a ritual sacrifice, and they cut this man down in front of everybody to set an example. World leaders knew what they were looking at. They have great investigators in their country who were able to piece together the things I was able to piece together. They know. It sent a message to them. We can do this to you or anybody you know and love at any point in time, no matter where you are. God forbid this happens. They could do it to me. I could walk right outside of my front door
100%.
and I get shot in the head, and they'll say, oh, gangsters in a local nearby community. I don't live nowhere near the hood. And they'll say, in a local nearby community, drove 15 miles away to shoot who we are not going to Mars in the head.
Right. And it explains Trump's behavior. Trump's super nonchalant, dismissive behavior. Man. Like the very first time they asked him on camera, how are you holding up? The man was like, oh, I'm doing pretty fine. Let's talk about this ballroom. Huh? Is anybody going to show some remorse? Erica, Andrew,
gangsters.
Blake Neffy, Mikey McCoy. Is anybody going to show some real remorse on camera that does not come off like theater?
Gangsters, all of them.
Donald Trump continued on like business as usual.
Yeah.
Nobody finds that strange.
You better listen to Didi telling you the truth. That's strange. It's absolutely strange. I mean, the fact that he jumped right into the ballroom. This is a normal thing that, so when you study Trump long enough, and I'm going to say this to you because I'm sure we don't have a lot of time left, but I've studied Trump and his family probably more than anybody in the world, just to be honest with you. I've been studying him for a very long time.
Okay.
This is a normal Trump response when he's trying to obfuscate from something and he doesn't want to talk about something. He'll just go and point in another direction. Look, rainbow, so because he thinks in his brilliant mind that
works.
Yeah, that works. It's throwing you off and like, got him. No, bro, you ain't get us. Not at all. You just made yourself look weird, and now we're looking at you funny. So Trump told on himself, you are 100% right. That's the weirdest response. He told on himself through that action. But let me tell you something else, how he told on himself, what people didn't see, which is a little bit more technical. Trump is an illegitimate president. The reason why Israel and the United States were able to bring the bird of prey drone to assassinate Charlie Kirk, meaning they used the U.S. Army spy plane to drop down 200 feet before and after the event to pick up the drone that they deployed. It's called a launched effect. The reason why they were able to do this and get away with it wasn't just because they used Elon Musk's Starlink communications on the Egyptian plane, also covered in my series. No, it's because Donald Trump and his family are Israel. There's no separation. There's no space in between. Everyone who's thinking that Benjamin Netanyahu has the upper hand on Donald Trump, you do not know the history. Fred Trump, Donald Trump's dad, sat on a committee for something called the JNF. The JNF is the Jewish National Fund. The Jewish National Fund is an organization that was developed in 1901 out of London, England. Its primary purposes were to buy land in Palestine and reappropriate that land to Jewish people, to European Jews. Okay, I call them colonial Jews. So that was their, and then when they would buy this land through the JNF, their job was to never sell it back, to only lease it, and then to only lease it to colonial Jews. That was their primary goal, their primary objective. They are still in operation today, and they have grown to multiple different countries around the world. We all talk about AIPAC, but we don't talk about the JNF. In 1983, Donald Trump was given an award by the JNF called the Tree of Life Award. And the award was given in recognition to the work that he had done in Israel in the 1970s when he was in his 30s. When Donald Trump was in his 30s, he was spending his money, his inheritance, to help build the state of Israel. So as he's building, helping to donate to the JNF, and they're building parks and they're building out the cities and they're trying to build Israel out, him and Fred, his dad, who sat on the committee, okay, they give him this award and they sit down and they have a dinner in 1983 with 1,500 prominent Jews from around the world and world-class bankers and businessmen. And they all honored Donald Trump and a couple other people who got this Tree of Life Award. Fast forward to today. Ivanka Trump, probably about 15 years ago, was over in Israel. I have video of this. I released this because I kept this for over a decade in the vault. I released it not too long ago, 2 videos. She's over in Israel pitching the Philadelphia project and another project that she wanted to do over there. While she's talking and doing the rounds, she lets it slip. We've been working with Israel for basically generations, and we have thousands of investors all around the world.
I've seen that clip. Yep.
That was me who released that. So now watch this. You can say that, but in this country, when you want to run for politics, and especially when you want to receive a security clearance, you have to disclose that. You have to disclose it. You have to say, hey, I have financial interest in another country, and it's to this level and degree. That is why we have FARA filings. This is exactly why. So we don't have people who are representing other countries, but then getting into position inside of our government, but doing the bidding of another country.
Mm-hmm.
Fred, Donald, and Ivanka have all worked with thousands of investors from Israel and have built projects throughout the world and have accepted Israeli over 75 years. And not a single FARA filing has been filed. The man is not a legitimate president. On top of that, when he appointed Pam Bondi to the DOJ, her very first thing that she does in office is to strike down FARA enforcement. That means you're trying not to get caught. A lot of people thought it was for AIPAC. Oh, so AIPAC won't have to register and stuff. No, when that went down, as far as AIPAC having to register, they killed John F. Kennedy over that. That's why they killed JFK over that stuff. Now it's the Trump family who should have registered for FARA. And if it comes out, then he knows, oh my God, this is a way they can actually get me out of office. So what does he do? He strikes down the enforcement of it altogether. This is a criminal act. He has obtained a security clearance, the same one I had, and had to get approved for and go through background check. And they ask all your family and friends and see who you are and what you're connected to. I've been followed by agents and all that kind of stuff just to make sure I'm upholding my security clearance. And it's a very meticulous process, very meticulous. But some kind of way, Fred, Donald, and Ivanka are nowhere in fire filings. I don't care about Fred, but Donald and Ivanka, both of them have been at top levels of the government, one of them currently right now. And yet not a single FARA filing for the state of Israel. This would have disqualified him from the presidency. This would have barred him from the presidency. And if it didn't bar him, at the very least, anything that he would have tried to implement on behalf of Israel, we would have had a point of reference as far as the FARA is concerned to point back to say you're compromised.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have that because he purposely kept that out of registration. So just kind of wanted to tell you, this is what we're dealing with the Trump family. They're subverting the United States. They're putting us through a coup. And Charlie Kirk was the first part of that assassination. His assassination was the first part of their transitioning over into power and to changing our society from a democracy to an access-led kind of authoritarian government.
This person, I think, joined a little bit later. They say, Didi, ask him how he explains the burns on Charlie's body under his shirt.
Yeah, a lot of people say that they're burns, and it's not burns, it's just blood. There's literally blood smeared all over the place, and there's bruising in the middle of the chest.
I was going to say, some of it looks like bruising to me. How would you explain the bruising is I think what he's wanting to know.
Yeah, he got shot in the chest. So that big old round bruise that I was, showing on the screen earlier, that's because he got shot in the chest. So that bruise is right there. Everything else that you see on his body is all blood. And then where you would expect to see a burn right here, or at least something wrong with the shirt or trauma to this area.
Because of the Rode mic, you don't see.
You don't see any of that because of, you just don't see any of it. There's just nothing.
But you believed it was supposed to be used, but there was some sort of malfunction.
I can prove there was a malfunction. I know exactly why there was a malfunction. I know why the electronics went out, basically.
Let's do that. As a matter of fact, I'd love to have you back on when I'm able to speak again properly in the next week or so.
Yeah.
After my surgery. So let's do that. I would love to discuss that with you.
Okay.
I'm very intrigued, man, and I do respect and honor the at the very least the time that you've put and the dedication that you've put into this, and I feel that way about anybody.
Thank you, man.
The last thing I want to do before we end this is I would love for, just so we're clear, we're gonna one sec. Let me do this.
Do you need me to show anything else? Or are you good?
I don't need you to show anything else, but I will.
Right over here, then. There we go. Okay, go ahead.
All right. I'm going to put this up. Now, for anybody that may be confused, 3 patsies, 2 shooters, 2 distractions. Just explicitly state out who these people are all at once, so we can have this all at one point in the video so people can be clear about what these indications are.
Yeah, not a problem. So for we'll start from the top, from the 3 patsies.
Okay.
The 3 patsies is very easy. That is, you got Tyler Robinson
on the Losey Center.
Yeah, up there on the Losey Center. You have the cell phone gun guy that's right there by
to the right of Charlie
Kirk, and that yellow dot that you have above the blue one that's in front of Charlie. That is an individual that was spotted there with a gun, but they didn't shoot the gun. They're just seen running from that location.
But that's not the same person that we shared at the very beginning that was dressed like a doctor or whatever it was.
No.
This
is a different person. That's a different person. So, and again, this is not to be 322 is not to be indicative of to cover everybody that was in the crowd. 322 is more of an ode to what they do with the skull and crossbones for presidents, because I'm basically donning this as a presidential level of a ritual assassination to help raise his level of power and authority right?
see.
In the esoteric world. So 322 allowed me to just kind of take the numbers and list out some people that were out there. So you got Tyler Robinson, you got the cell phone gun guy, you got that guy who was holding a gun in the crowd right there. The two distractions that you have, and I'll get to the two shooters next. You have George Zen, who's right there in the audience, right there in front of Charlie, and you have Phil Lyman, who is up there on the right next to the LC Center when he walked out of that building, and if he would have looked to his left, Tyler Robinson would have been right there. People don't realize how close Phil Lyman was to where Tyler Robinson's location was at the LC. I'll even tell you this much. I haven't put this out yet, but I'll put this out. Muppet Master shared this video with me. Shout out to him. Shared this video with me the other day, and he shared the full Phil Lyman video of him walking out of this building.
Yeah.
That's in front of the LC Center. He's walking out, and nobody on that level, first of all, was looking towards the LC because no shot came from the LC. So nobody's looking back towards the LC that's on that level.
Right.
I had already known that the girls that Phil Lyman had approached, the very first set of girls said 2 shots from over there. And they weren't pointing at the LC. They were pointing over there where Charlie Kirk was. I hadn't seen the other part of the video when Phil Lyman walked further down. So first of all, everybody, so that you know this, Phil Lyman absolutely missed the assassination of Charlie Kirk. He was inside of a building. Phil Lyman did not see the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Let's be very clear about that. He missed the assassination of Charlie Kirk. His initial assessment was off of 2 people, or 3 people technically. The 2 girls that were standing there that said 2 shots from over there. He walked further down, and there's a guy on a cell phone standing right next to him who's talking on the cell phone, who says exactly the same thing that those 2 girls said that were on the other side. And they said, and he was talking on the cell phone, and he said, yeah, 2 shots. So in Phil Lyman's mind, the only thing that he should have been talking about is the 2 shots that affected Charlie Kirk.
Right.
How does Phil Lyman immediately go on video and first act like he was there and saw it? Okay. Which he absolutely did not. And then second, act like that it was 1 shot from the LOSI Center that was 15 feet away from the building that he walked out of, when that is not what the people told him that were standing right there, who were outside, who did see what happened. Their eyewitness accounts were ignored by Phil Lyman so that he could see the story throughout society to say that this magical 1 shot coming from Tyler Robinson on the LC rooftop, when that's not the story of what happened when he walked out of that building. Those people told him 2 shots. He heard them say 2 shots. He heard them say over there. Nobody was talking about the LC Center. Phil Lyman lied to everybody, period. We cooking, bro.
Well, hot grease. All right. And so, but hold on. Just because maybe I missed this part. You're saying he was another distraction in what sense? How did he distract?
Phil Lyman's job was to go on the media and to start seeding that story, start planting that story of Tyler Robinson, and start, hey, yeah, the shot came from up there, you know. And when he was asked, and one of the people asked, hey, Phil Lyman, did you see who took the shot? And Phil Lyman,
yeah,
no.
Very strange reaction.
Yeah,
I just tried to find it really fast on Twitter. That was exactly what I was trying to find that moment. He was like, no. I mean, yeah. I'm like, bro, why are you acting strange? Like, aren't we talking about somebody that just lost their life? Why are you smiling and laughing and being goofy and changing your answers? Like, we're going to see that you're a liar. You do understand that, right? Like, we can't trust what you're saying to us. Nope. This is strange. Not only, and according to Candace's research, apparently it's, I believe, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I believe it's Phil Lyman's family whose neighborhood it was that Tyler Robinson, or supposedly Tyler Robinson, was captured on Ring camera.
Yeah, they own all.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Yep.
What a coincidence. Okay, so we got the 3 passages, we got the 2 distractions, and the 2 powers. is, I mean, we've already answered this, but go ahead and explain that as well.
So for them, I had, like I said in the beginning, I initially had got it wrong. I knew that I was 100% right about Rick Cutler. I call him Ricky Cutlass, about Ricky Smooth Cutlass. Um, he definitely shot Charlie Kirk, and I was able. Actually the one who uncovered the shot going through the shirt and going into the body, and then the bruising and the blood. And then recently, because I figured out what kind of bullet it was, I found the hole coming out of the back. So I said, and it's this big. It's a BB. It's it's nothing. It's so tiny, the hole. But when you see what they did it with, it's called a pinfire palm pistol. And I didn't know that these things existed. But pinfire guns are something that's pretty much discontinued, and probably for good reason today. But the ammunition starts at 2 millimeters. And they're able to basically pack gunpowder behind a BB and create a bullet out of that. And you just slide it into the little thing, and boop, and you pop it like a little cat gun, but it shoots it shoots as a real gun because it is a real shot. And the BB actually went in and exited out of the back with a very small hole. Now, we weren't able to see underneath the shirt of Charlie Kirk in the back to see the exit inside of the shirt and the bruising and the blood like we were on the front of the shirt.
I see.
But we do see the hole in the back, and we'll cover that, all of that stuff more later. But this just goes to show just why what we were able to show people today, that this was a very live and moving operation that covered a lot of people. Of course, I got it wrong in the beginning because I thought somebody was running across the bridge. But once I realized the angle that the shot had to come from, and then I saw the video from the drone leaving the scene, I then began to study to see what drones had that capability. And the only drone that has that capability, it's a process of an elimination, just like I said in the beginning, is the bird of prey. The Lannius is capable of it too, but to a lesser extent. The bird of prey is 100% absolutely meant for this.
And it's used overseas and stuff, from my understanding.
Yeah, they used it in Palestine.
In the Middle East, yeah.
It's horrible what they did to the Palestinians. They fly these drones around and just mow them down. Them down. Yeah. I can't show that here on YouTube. I can't show anything like that.
Absolutely. Well, Ty, man, I appreciate you. I'm sure many people in the chat definitely appreciate, number one, your time, your expertise, your research. We definitely have to do a follow-up video in the next week or two, man. And I'd love, first and foremost, one of the rarest people, probably the only other person outside of Candace, who I don't know personally, who mentions things like the esoteric perspective, which I never, ever, I'm the only one in this space that I'm aware of. And I may have missed someone, so forgive me if I have, but who covers the esoteric perspective, the Freemasonic perspective, and I'm someone that unapologetically talks about those things. So I definitely want to tap into that with you. I have a few hit pieces on Donald Trump and his family, and the Illuminati card game, and just the history.
Yeah. I forgot that. I could have brought that up.
We have to talk, and we're going to, man. Like if you would like, man, I'm going to say this right here in front of everybody. I would love to have you on as a regular, man. I really, really would, because I enjoyed this conversation. The frequency, we're here. We're here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I appreciate your time, brother. I'm going to get through some of these super chats. I only have 3 of them, and then I actually have to meet someone in less than 30 minutes. So this is perfect timing, brother. I appreciate you, and we'll speak soon, man.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, man. I really appreciate you allowing me to come on and utilize your platform. And for everybody, go follow DD Got a Podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, share everything, turn on the bell and the notifications so you can get a pop-up when he does go live. And make sure you go to planbyty.com. If you support what I'm talking about, support the thousands of hours it took to go into this. Planbyty.com is where my book Planned is at. I have a book. It's a very short read, 100 pages. And I built a social community behind that book as well too, because I'm trying to challenge Jeff Bezos and Amazon, and I'm trying to help us authors to get us authors and kind of slick, us content creators to really be able to get our voice back and be able to own all the digital publishing rights behind the content that we put out every day, and control whether the fact of if it goes up and down offline and all that stuff. If you own your own community, nobody's taking your stuff down, and nobody is monitoring you with algorithms. So I'm building that out right now. Go to planbyty.com. You'll see the first version of that community. It's where my book Planned is hosted. And I can't wait to come back on with you again, man, and do this. It's been great energy. I expressed that concern before we got on. I said, I just want to have laid back energy. That's all. I don't, it's heavy enough, the information, and it's hard. You know what I'm talking about. You've been in this space long enough. I've seen your work, and I've seen the things you talk about, so I know what you feel. It's hard to process some of this information, and I'll just leave people with this. You're listening to us, but always keep Christ first. Forget about us. Like, just keep Christ first in your life. That's my message. I'm not sure what Dee Dee's message is, but that
Same
is my
message.
message. Okay. That's my message to everybody. Don't let any man, woman, child, or church stand in the way, or other organizations stand in the way. Christ first, center. You're not going to be perfect, but just remember that. Thank you,
Amen.
Dee Dee.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Ty, I appreciate your time, brother. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, B. All right.
That was amazing. That was amazing. I typically have great discernment with who I bring onto the platform, and I'm not perfect, so sometimes I can be mistaken. That does not apply here. I love that conversation. I know you can't please everybody. You can't convince everybody. Everyone won't buy into his theory. But at the very least, you have to respect the man's work and his dedication to the work. I mean, he's been commenting under my tweets and things for months, and I've seen it, but I've seen other people now, and I easily get sidetracked and things of that sort. But unbeknownst to him, I've actually been to his page a few times, and I've tried to find time to just sit down and have like a uninterrupted 30 minutes, hour where I watch his stuff, and I haven't really been able to be disciplined enough to find it. But I've seen the hours and hours of footage. He's not lying. He has hours long research, man, and amazing. Very, very intriguing. Very intriguing. At the very least, you cannot say whether you agree with him or not. You can't deny what he presented to you. You can challenge it, but he did come with images and video footage and breakdowns and his own angle of how he's approached this. And I have a ton of respect for him for it. All right. So with that, I'm gonna get to some of these super chats. And we're going to get up out of here, man. Gina, as always, thank you so much for the $20. I'm late as usual, so starting from beginning. I'm so glad you have Ty on here. He's done great analysis of it all. Gina is aware of Ty. Heck yeah, that's what's up, man. Thank you, Gina, for the $10. It's very strange that nobody's addressing this. It makes absolutely no sense. Bums me out. Yeah, I agree. And when like I said, when he sent this image right here to me, I was like, this is intriguing. This is intriguing. You still have people like Cooper Brown. I believe that's the kid's name. Cooper Brown is once again, one of the newest characters in the scene. Something new TPUSA just chose to do this day. Cooper Brown is the volunteer kid who prevented one of the TPUSA students from sharing what he had saw, so that Cooper Brown could then go onto 2 different news networks and share what he saw that day. He was one of the people that was standing close to Charlie as well. Where did that kid come from? Why are you allowed to go on news networks and talk about what you witnessed, even though you're just a volunteer? Where did you come from? What's your background? Who do you work for? Right? Who sent you? Right? If anybody. How come a student is not able to talk about it, but you are? Strange. The Pom Pom Mom, thank you for the $7. Didi, thank you so much for bringing on Ty. I've been following his work for a while now, and his research is thorough, and he deserves more recognition. Wow, that's dope. I agree. He deserves a ton of more. But I've learned that in this space, like, I don't think I need to tell you all this. The amount of views a video has is not always a direct reflection of how great the work is or the production is. Sometimes it's about the following. Sometimes it's about the promotion that you got from someone with a bigger platform. Sometimes the algorithm just support. Sometimes it's about shock value. It could be a plethora of different reasons why a video does not perform well or why others perform better. And so, as I've always said on my channel, some of my best work, you'll probably never see it unless you're a dedicated follower of the channel, because they have the least amount of views, right? That's some of the best work on this channel. And I stand by that. And I think that applies across platforms. There are people that do considerably much more detailed work than I do that aren't even on YouTube. They've left the YouTube platform, don't trust the YouTube platform. And I learned it from people like those folks. Right. But I have hundreds of thousands of more followers than they do, but they have better work than I do. They are more educated and informed than I am, so the amount of followers a person has means little to nothing. Sometimes it can be a reflection of a person's brilliance and their ability to connect and, grow that trust from people, but it's not always an indication of them being better at something. But I don't think I need to tell you all that. Truman Show, thank you for the $5. Sent you an email. Go check it out. All right, I'll do that. I'm glad your third eye is open, Ty. Shout out to Ty once again. Thank you for the $5. All right, y'all. With that, man, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off of here. We've been on here a lot longer than I typically am, well over 2 hours. Not a lot of super chats to get through today, but that's okay. I appreciate you all as always. Before I end the video, I'm gonna end it off. I'm gonna make sure that I state this. Everything mentioned in this video today is alleged. Right? I am not an expert. I do not claim to know everything. I'm not claiming that everything I've stated is a fact. These are just opinions, and we're just doing some fun investigative journalism. Fun investigative journalism. Everything in this video is alleged. Right? So with that, I am going to end the stream. But as always, I'm going to catch you all in the next one, man. Pray for me. I'm going to have surgery tomorrow. I'm going to get this Wilson 2 taken out. And if it's the Lord's will, man, I'll catch you all in about a week or so. Peace. Oh, yeah. Didi got a podcast.
Attitudes and our work ethic become very important in realizing our goals and opening up possibilities. I had lunch a couple of weeks ago with a recent graduate at UCA. And his story, is really fascinating. It's one of overcoming homelessness during his time pursuing his degree, first at a community college here in Arkansas, and then finishing his bachelor's degree here at UCA. His narrative ranges from estrangement from family for many years to a hopeful reunion with mother and siblings. His record is one of overcoming odds in a way that I probably could not, and certainly demonstrating levels of tenacity and patience and optimism that I can only marvel at. He wanted to talk with me about his new job and his career path going forward. I really need to be there to learn from him because that's where the real value was.
Everything I say in this video is alleged. Allegedly. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Y'all just repeat after me. I really appreciate it. Alright. No such thing. Come on, we can do better than that. Talk to me. Alright, let's start it over. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. You're worse than the rich white people or the rich white Jews that own these record labels because they don't even understand these populations. You have a lot closer relationship to these people and you're leading them to hellfire. You are leading them in the wrong direction in the name of getting rich and famous. How dare you? Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.